We got big news about the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Is Microsoft giving up on cloud gaming? This Xbox game got hit with a delay. Let's break down the May Xbox update. Let's discuss. What's up guys, and welcome back to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that's all about Xbox. I talk Xbox news, rumors, I do my own little game reviews, I do some unboxings, I have guests on the channel. If any of that stuff I mentioned sticks out to you as interesting or appealing, consider subscribing, maybe not, maybe you do, I don't know. Let's get right into it guys. Hollow Knight Silksong is a game that a lot of people are looking forward to, and I got bad news, it is canceled. Nah, just kidding, it's not canceled, don't freak out on me guys. It's not canceled, but Hollow Knight Silksong is delayed out of the first half of 2023. And I know a lot of people are not going to be very happy with that, or maybe you're out there and you're like, yes, delay it, take as much time as you need. It was just a couple of weeks ago at the ID at Xbox showcase where the chat was just blowing up with people begging for Hollow Knight, begging to see it, begging to have some news about it. There was nothing. Matthew Griffin, who is a guy who works in marketing and publishing on Hollow Knight Silksong, he took to Twitter and had this to share. Hey gang, just a quick update about Silksong. We had planned to release it in the first half of 2023, but development is still continuing. We're excited by how this game is shaping up, and it's gotten quite big, so we want to take the time to make the game as good as we can. Expect more details from us once we get closer. And I was surprised to see that most of the replies, most of the responses to this tweet were very supportive. They were like, take your time, man. Let them cook. But it is yet another game that was showed at last year's Xbox Bethesda showcase almost a year ago now. It was in June 2022, where they said all of these games you're going to see are coming out in the next 12 months, in the next year. Digital Trends just put out an article tracking just how many games stuck to that timeline from that they laid out at last year's showcase. So far, we're on track for 28 out of 43. 15 games did not meet the deadline. That includes games like Stalker 2, Aura, and now Hollow Knight Silksong. Very disappointing. It's disappointing because, you know, I was there at that showcase in person, and it was my first event. I had my media badge. It was the first time I got invited out to anything. I'm talking from like an industry standpoint. I have friends, guys. Trust me. And I was like, okay, all these games over the next 12 months, the next 12 months is going to be awesome. And of course, in practice here in the year 2023, that's not really been the case. Maybe Xbox should just stop setting themselves up saying like, oh, these games are going to come out in this window. Maybe they should just back off on that a little bit. I know they were trying to give us hope, something about the immediate future, considering the last couple showcases they did. They were like, here are these projects that are going to come out in like 5 or 6 years. Whenever Hollow Knight comes out, maybe the second half of 2023, early 2024, it's going to be on Game Pass day one. And there are a lot of big games coming up, like Starfield, like Spider-Man 2. Hopefully it can find a nice little window so it doesn't get overshadowed by some of the bigger AAA titles. Next up, let's talk about the May update that is rolling out to Xbox consoles this week. Now, to be clear, guys, the things I'm about to go over are the things that they have posted on the Xbox Wire saying these are the things that are part of the Xbox May update. I'm saying all this because every time I do one of these things and I talk about the new features and these new updates, there's always someone in the comments being like, man, I've been able to do this for like the last 10 years on my Xbox. This ain't new, man. What are you talking about? And to be clear, I'm going over the things that they posted on the Xbox Wire, and they posted it on May 10th. So don't shoot the messenger. That's what I'm referring to. As part of this update, you will be able to view the gamer tags of your Discord friends. Now, as we all know, at this point, your Xbox console now supports Discord voice chat. And if you link your Discord and Xbox accounts, you can join voice channels on Discord from your Xbox console. And now you'll be able to see all of your friends' gamer tags, so it'll make them easier to find when you're playing an Xbox game. It should make it a whole lot easier to track down certain people when you're trying to invite them to a game or to a party. They're also throwing in new filter options on the Microsoft Store. These new features apparently let you look for games in order of price, what kind of accessibility features they have, do they have subscriptions, and seeing what languages they support. There's also a firmware update apparently for your controller that mitigates slow battery drain, but this will only apply if you have some sort of internal battery or rechargeable battery, like if you have an Elite Series 2, or if you have a rechargeable battery like the one included in the most recent Remix controller that Xbox just put out for Earth Day. They also apparently threw in a bug fix with this firmware update. Apparently people were having trouble with their controllers disconnecting whenever they were using headphones with 4K, 120 Hz, variable refresh rate support. It looks like they're going to try something else with Game Pass Quest as well. According to the Xbox Wire, Xbox Game Pass Quests are moving from your games over to your personal profile, where it'll have its own little special rewards tab. Now, I know the update that we're all waiting for is this new dashboard. There's been a lot of talk about it. They revamped it to try to incorporate some of the feedback the community was giving them. There's no word on when officially it's going to be rolling out, but it seems to be in the final stages of testing. A ton of the insiders are currently testing out the screenshot that they shared the other week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got new dashboards on our Xbox consoles in the next couple of months. Next up, let's talk about the Activision Blizzard acquisition. I know, guys, I know. I was just on here the other day being like, I don't want to talk about this no more, man. I'm sick of this stuff. I'm sick of this back and forth. Will they, won't they? There was a period of time, like 2 weeks on Xbox Ready, where I didn't talk about this at all, and those are the happiest days of my life. And while I don't really want to talk about this anymore, I don't find it particularly interesting. It is one of the biggest things going on in the Xbox world right now, and we got a pretty significant update regarding this. I'm just gonna give you the straight facts. I'm not gonna inject any of my opinions on this. I've done enough of that already, and there are a ton of people out there still doing it. Internet lawyers popping up left and right. Suddenly they're experts on this whole thing. But according to Reuters.com, the EU is expected to approve this acquisition as soon as next week on May 15th. This is obviously a significant positive step in the right direction if you are a Microsoft, especially after the deal got blocked in the UK by the CMA. If you need to catch up on that, the UK decided this deal should not go through because of cloud gaming, and Xbox was like, well, I don't really know what to say about that because cloud gaming is still in its infancy, and the CMA over in the United Kingdom was like, too bad. Microsoft is in the middle of trying to appeal that decision, and I see a lot of people, throwing in their 2 cents. Oh, what if Microsoft pulled cloud gaming out of the UK? What if they pulled Xbox as a whole out of the UK? And I'm like, whoa, that's a little too crazy, I think. But as a reminder, from my understanding, none of that, like all the remedies and concessions, it's not going to matter in terms of their appeal process in the United Kingdom. They have to prove that the CMA was acting irrationally, they didn't follow due process, or they were just generally acting sus. And if they can do that, maybe they can come back and go, hey, okay, you were worried about cloud gaming, let's work on some remedies specific to cloud gaming in order to get this deal to go through. I was reading the other day as well that Xbox hired like some badass lawyer that's worked with the European Union at some point to help their case over in the United Kingdom. Maybe that'll work out for them, maybe it won't. The deal has already been approved by a number of other countries, including Japan, but obviously the FTC in the United States and the CMA in the United Kingdom, those are markets and sectors of the world that they definitely have to have on board if they want to go forward with this deal. Speaking of cloud gaming, we have a very interesting update in regards to Microsoft's stance on the whole cloud gaming industry. Jez Corden over at Windows Central wrote an article questioning whether or not Microsoft was pivoting away from the cloud gaming industry. This is based on a mix of his own findings and Derek Strickland over at Tweaktown's analysis of certain documents that Microsoft has submitted to the CMA over in the United Kingdom in regards to their Activision Blizzard acquisition. And in these documents, they apparently paint a very bleak picture when it comes to cloud gaming, according to Jez Corden. Part of this is that, according to Microsoft, cloud gaming on mobile devices has been unsuccessful, which is kind of surprising to hear because the last I was hearing of it, Fortnite teaming up with xCloud to get back on iOS devices, it was going pretty well. And apparently it was going very well. It was like people were having to wait in queues in order to play Fortnite via Xbox Cloud Gaming on their iPhones and stuff. But now that has mostly petered out. Mostly it's like a non-factor now. Jez Corden goes on to say in this article, while, Microsoft indicated that there's unlikely to be a material demand for cloud gaming anytime soon. Furthermore, Microsoft noted that consumer spending on cloud devices accounted for de minimis proportion of the overall pie, a Latin term often used in legal texts to describe something too trivial to be even worthy of consideration. And that... whoo, I know I'm gonna hear it from Jimmy when we do the two-host video this weekend, because he hates cloud gaming, and I thought it could be pretty exciting. And when we heard that the UK was blocking the Activision Blizzard acquisition over cloud gaming, we were joking around like, oh, next week we're gonna hear that Microsoft is shutting down cloud gaming, their cloud gaming division. And while nothing that extreme is happening yet, if these things that we're hearing from Jez Corden and Derek Strickland are to be true, they might consider maybe like minimizing that sector of their business plan going forward, or maybe they will shut it down. I don't know. Microsoft has definitely shut down other projects that, are just not worth it or not working out. Jez Corden talks about Mixer. Obviously, at the beginning of the Xbox One generation, we had the Kinect, which was another thing I was pretty high on at the time, but as the generation went on, they were like, okay, no more Kinect, guys. It's not working out. It's too expensive to produce, and no one really wants it. Are we heading in a similar direction with cloud gaming? Is cloud gaming this generation's version of the Kinect? And if so, I'm like, oh my gosh, guys. It's like, suddenly the Xbox strategy, like all the things that we were talking about in like 2021 are turning around and they're kind of biting Xbox in the butt. When it comes to the demand for cloud gaming, I'm not sure if the demand is minimal. I would argue that the demand for cloud gaming is very, very high. I feel like a lot of people would be interested in a way to play video games that doesn't require buying a console, a $500 paywall that's centered around hardware. Because the way that people are consuming media and consuming entertainment is shifting, and I don't know why that wouldn't apply to video games as well. No one wants to pay to have some sort of hardware that'll give them access to their favorite shows or movies. They're like, no, we don't want hardware to watch our favorite TV or movies. Let me just subscribe to a service and I can watch it on my TV, I can watch it on my phone, I can watch it on my tablet or iPad, whatever. People don't want to pay for hardware. People don't want to pay for anything at all when it comes to entertainment. Why do you think people were so mad when Netflix was like, we're going to be cracking down on password sharing and you might have to buy your own membership? This is a big problem in the anime community too. Influencers will come out and be like, hey, maybe consider watching anime legally, like through a streaming service, or buying it on like iTunes or something, and people are like, hell no, I'm gonna keep pirating that stuff. So in that way, cloud gaming is exciting to me, like playing a video game without needing to drop a bunch of cash on a console. But the truth that we're all starting to see is that cloud gaming, in order for it to be anywhere near the level of a console experience, you gotta have good internet, you gotta have at least 5G, or you gotta be on Wi-Fi, or for the best experience, you gotta be directly connected via Ethernet. And at that point, it's like, if I'm connected via Ethernet, why not just play on a console? The potential of cloud gaming seems so cool. A couple of years back when I tried Google Stadia, I had a crappy HP laptop. It was like $250, and through Stadia, I was playing Destiny 2, and it was running really well. I was like, holy crap, this could be awesome for people who don't have access to the funds to buy a nice gaming computer or the latest and greatest Xbox or PlayStation 5. But depending on how this goes for Xbox and what they decide to do with cloud gaming going forward, I might have to put those dreams on the back burner. Put them with my, great memories of the Kinect from the Xbox One gen. And this for sure kills any hopes of Project Keystone coming out, a dedicated streaming console for Xbox gamers. Oh man, I just know I'm gonna hear it from Jimmy, man. I know I'm gonna probably hear it from you guys too, because I was pretty high on cloud gaming, not as a replacement for, a traditional console or PC experience, but it was a nice option. And it really gave an interesting edge to the whole Xbox ecosystem. Gaming on console, gaming on your PC, and when you don't have access to either of those, you can still access your saved data in whatever game that you're playing and play it on the go via the cloud. I went so far as to say is like, okay, maybe in the future, like if cloud gaming is up to snuff with the traditional console experience, would Xbox maybe kick around the idea of no longer selling consoles? Like they just give their stuff out and distribute it on PC and you can access it through the cloud or stream it? Something like that seems a little bit bit farther away, if at all, just not achievable, after hearing about the stuff from Jez Corden and Derek Strickland. You know, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, maybe Xbox overextended itself with trying to develop the ecosystem as a whole. I'm getting shades of like the beginning of the Xbox One generation, where it seemed to be less about the games and, oh, your Xbox is now an entertainment center that the whole family can enjoy. And that's something that they quickly realized, oh crap, we shouldn't have focused too much on that. We should have focused on the games part. I'm not saying it's to that extent this generation, because they're doing a lot better things this gen versus the Xbox One gen, but I like what they're doing with the ecosystem. Now that I'm playing more on my PC, I love the kind of interconnectivity that I can achieve with just using my Xbox gamer tag between the two devices. But I can definitely see how this whole talk of ecosystem and all of cloud gaming would annoy other fans of Xbox. And then if they were to pivot away from cloud gaming, what would that mean for all of these like dedicated handhelds that are popping up that are just about cloud gaming? But again, maybe if those devices go away, maybe this whole cloud gaming thing blows over, we now have incentive for other things to pop up like the Steam Deck, like a native handheld experience versus one that you have to be connected to the internet to and stream games. I don't know, guys. It's a very confusing time for Xbox right now. They're in the middle of a lot of stuff and they haven't been having the best couple of weeks, but I'm personally hopeful that we're going to get a ton of good news at next month's showcase, the Xbox Game Showcase, followed by Starfield Direct. Hopefully we have a very clear idea of what Xbox is going to do going into the immediate future. And hopefully Xbox can give us a strong sense of what they hope to achieve with their gaming division. Anyways, guys, that's all the news I have for today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and we'll see you in the next one.